I'm Rob Epstein. I'm a product manager in the Microsoft 365 product team in the UK. And I just want to show you a little bit around how AI is infused in tools that you probably use all day, every day, like PowerPoint, Word, Excel. So one of the first things, I'm recording this today using Teams, which is our communication and collaboration application. In fact, many of you may be doing remote lessons on that for the last few weeks. And one of the first pieces of AI is that obviously I'm presenting this from my home, given the current situation, but it actually allows me to change the background so you can't see where I am. So I can start applying all sorts of different backgrounds, and the AI basically enables to identify where I am within that. So I'm just going to switch to a blurred background, and then I'm also going to start sharing my screen so you can see the presentation that I want to take you through. So hopefully what you're seeing here is a little bit just an introduction to how the idea here is to use PowerPoint, Word, Excel, the other Office applications deeply embedded with AI in order to help everybody achieve more. So AI has moved on incredibly in the last few years, and it's allowing us to use these technologies within the tools that you use every day to help people get more done. So things like object recognition, speech recognition, natural language processing, and we've been able to take those and embed those into the Office applications. So we bring this together in a product called Microsoft 365, and we think of this as the world's productivity cloud. It just allows everybody to get more done using the tools that you're already familiar with. So what we want is to create an environment that's completely productive for everybody, where they can use pen, they can use touch, they can use speech, the things that they're naturally used to working with, but use those in productivity tools to achieve things they need. And they can do that together as well, as you may have experienced with Teams. So you can collaborate together in order to work on documents and to share ideas, and to use AI to help you get insight from data and write better documents and create PowerPoint presentations that are beautiful that much quicker. So what I'm going to do is quickly switch over to show you some demos of this kind of application. So I'm going to come out of this and switch to a standard PowerPoint. Now, many people, and you may do this when you create PowerPoints, you start off with just a completely blank text, and then you start tracing the bullet points, the text that you want to do on some blank slides. And then, of course, you want to impress teachers, or you want to impress people that you're presenting to, so that you start to make these slides quite beautiful, and that can take quite a bit of time. Well, we've now built AI in through something called Design Ideas. And when I click the Design Ideas button, you'll see that the AI starts looking at the text and creating beautiful slides for me. So I can take any slide, and with one click, I've improved it. As I go on to my next slide, without having to touch anything else, Design Ideas looks at the text and allows me to create a lovely looking slide with one click. And you'll see as I go on to the next slide here, and I introduce, let's just get some new ideas here. Right, as I go on to something else, let's correct this one, that the icons that have been brought back and formatted into my slide match the text already. So this is, for example, talking about sustainable energy, and it's got a light bulb, or environmental impact with a tree, or an emotional connection is key. And so it's got a little heart-shaped locket. So without having to do any more work, the AI is looking and analyzing that text and bringing back the right icons. Now, if you were planning a project, for example, or an event, you want to create a timeline, that can be really fiddly to do when you've got to get everything lined up just beautifully. So again, the AI recognizes these as dates and gives me straight away one click to get a timeline done in a number of different ways. And then lastly, if I was to insert if I wanted to insert some pictures into this, so let's just grab some pictures from my device. We'll just go and find a few random pictures here. As soon as I dump 4 pictures, the AI kicks in and starts to automatically give me different ways of showing what that might look like when it's formatted, without me having to do anything else, and I can select what I want. So that shows you how quickly I can do that. The next thing is, once I've built my presentation, obviously I want to present it. So what I'll do is, let's say I'm presenting to an audience, and maybe there are some people who are hard of hearing and they need accessibility benefits, or possibly even people who English isn't their first language. So when I go to present, I can switch on subtitles. And now when I go into presenter mode to present this, what you should see is that it's created a border around the text. And it's now using, again, AI in the cloud to take my speech and to automatically subtitle that. And it can go even further, which is, although I'm speaking in English, I can change the language and it will be able to subtitle that in up to any of 60 different languages. So really good from an accessibility point of view, and helping people understand, say, everybody get the most out of it. Now, the last thing you might want to do, of course, is actually go and present, and you want to rehearse the presentation. So I'm going to switch to a presentation that I produced earlier. This one's just an example presentation around AI for health. And I can actually rehearse this with a coach that will tell me whether I'm presenting well. So let's switch the coach on, and it just takes a second to fire up. And then I'm going to start my rehearsal. And what you should see if you watch this bottom left corner here is if I talk very, very fast, the AI will start to detect that I'm talking too quickly, and it should tell me that I need to slow down. So I continue, of course, there it is, it's picked up that I'm talking too fast. The other thing that it'll do is if I just read the text out, that's not a very good presentation. So if I just read our $40 million investment over 5 years to empower researchers and organizations with AI to advance the health of people, again, it pops up and tells me that I'm just reading. And then the last thing it'll do is if I I'm not a very good presenter, and I put a lot of and words in as I present, it should pick that up and tell me that I'm using too many filler words. There's a number of other things. So if I stop the coach, you'll see at the end, I get a nice report that tells me how many slides I rehearsed, whether or not I was talking too fast or not. It gives me a pace of my speech. You can see I started talking very quickly at the beginning. It tells me my tone of voice, and then also whether or not I'm reading and whether I'm using filler words. So really smart use of AI to help you produce a better presentation. So let's switch to Word now, and I'll show you how Word also allows me to produce better documents. And one of the beautiful things with the latest versions of these applications is you can have multiple people edit them all at the same time. You may already do this when you're working on projects together. And I can put comments in, and you can see colleagues have put comments in, and it allows us to mention each other and helps us find the comments that we were looking for. But I can do other things. So obviously I can dictate straight into the document. So if I switch that on and I switch dictation on, then I should be able to start dictating straight in using the same sort of technology you saw me use before. So for example, imagine I've just broken my arm and I still want to get my work done, but I now can't type. So again, great accessibility features. Similarly, I might have a document that somebody else sent to me, which is full of acronyms. We're really good at this at Microsoft. And I don't always understand if I'm reading that document what those acronyms mean. So I can go to references and I can have a look at it, and I can ask it what acronyms are, and it will scan my document. The AI finds all the acronyms, and then it goes off to either the web or, in this case, our internal network, and starts to identify based on other tech. The AI learns what those acronyms means and gives me a few different examples of most likely, for example, MSFT is probably related to Microsoft. So it helps me get my work done quicker. And then the last thing, of course, is I want to make sure that my text and my document that I'm writing is as good as possible. So I can go back and I can ask an editor to review that document. Now, obviously, you're familiar with it doing basic spell checking and so forth. But here, the document goes even further, and it starts to give me suggestions based on the quality of my text. So you can see here it's picked up that I've got 6 grammar issues, and I've got things like formality. So it'll start showing me that I've used "we have a comfy massage chair," and it's saying that might be a little bit too informal, and so I might want to shift it to comfortable. For example, it says here the state should hire more policemen, and it's telling me that I should include a more gender neutral term like police officers. And I've even got language in here that might not be suitable, and it's picking that up and suggesting that I should change it as well. So just lots of different ways in which the technology, the AI, is looking at the document and helping me create a better document. And then the last thing, you may have done this as well. Let's say you're in the middle of typing a document and I need to insert some data. So I'll say something like insert data here, XXX. And of course, you don't want to end up typing that XXX and then forgetting to go back and change it. So you can see again, as soon as I type XXX, then the AI has picked up that probably means I need to follow something up. So I can say, as soon as I type that XXX, it picks up that it's a follow up and allows me to put a thing in here saying, data to go here. And it calls it out in a different way. So I'm now not going to send the final document off without having gone back and make all those changes. And then the last thing, of course, is I may actually want to completely translate this document into a number of different languages. So if I take the standard document and I go to review, I can literally do translate, and I can say, let's translate a section, or in fact, I'm going to just translate the entire document from let's choose something that you might recognize. So let's just say French and translate, and it will take the entire document and, again, using AI in the cloud, translate that all into French for me. So I've shown you a little bit in both PowerPoint and in Word how AI is deeply injected to help you create faster, better documents with better text. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you is a little bit about using on your phone. So if you can see on the video here, this is my Samsung Galaxy phone, and I'm just going to switch over to a piece of software that allows me to show you that phone. There we go. So you're now seeing my phone screen. So as I swipe through, now I'm using something here called the Microsoft Launcher, and the Microsoft Launcher you can download for free from the store, and it brings together all of my Microsoft Life. So it allows me to see all my meetings, all my notes, all my to-do items, etc. It even, again, uses AI to analyze what I'm doing, the documents that I should be working on, the people I communicate with, and how much I'm using my phone. But what I wanted to show you was this application called Office app. And again, you can download this on either iOS or Android today from their respective stores. And you can log in with your school or college information if you're an Office 365 user to start using it. So this shows me all of the documents that I've been working on recently, including the one that I've just presented to you now, and allows me to open that on my phone and edit it if I need to as well. But let's say I'm out and about with nothing more than my phone, or I'm in a lesson, I don't have my laptop with me, and I can go and do actions direct from this. So you can see here I've got things like image to text and image to table. So let's say I'm in a physics lesson and somebody's handed me a piece of paper with some results of an experiment on it. So here, if again you look at the video, there's the piece of paper, and if I click image to table, then it'll open up the camera and allow me to just point that at the piece of paper very roughly and take a photo. It zooms in and identifies the text, and I can say continue. And then it will use optical character recognition to recognize all of the text in that photo and then actually turn it into an Excel spreadsheet for me. Now you can see here it's got a few highlighted in pink. That's where it's not exactly sure that what it's seen is correct. And so if I click on an area, it zooms to that part of the photo and allows me to check it. When I've checked everything, I can open that up and you'll see it opens in Excel, and this has now turned it into a completely editable Excel document, and it has basically got everything right. I think there's about 2 errors that I need to correct in that. And then of course I can save this to my OneDrive, I can share it with people I might be working on the project with, and then I've got Excel so I can start doing all my functions and formulas already. So that's just a few simple examples of how on the phone, on PC, on the web, we've deeply embedded AI technology across voice recognition, speech, translation, video and image recognition, character recognition, to help people get more done and to bring some really great accessibility features. And I just want to finish off. Yeah, and really the point here is that Microsoft's mission has always been to allow people to use the best technology. So originally when Bill Gates set the company up, he wanted to democratize the PC and put a PC on every desk and in every home. And under our new mission with Satya Nadella, our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And we help them do that by using AI to get their work done faster, including, as I've shown you, a couple of things that are really thoughtful about accessibility and helping people get more done with accessible technology. So I'm going to finish with a quick video that demonstrates this accessible technology. This is an AI app you can download from the iOS store today, built here in the UK by a Microsoft engineer.
I'm Saqib Sheikh. I lost my sight when I was 7, and shortly after that I went to a school for the blind. And that's where I was introduced to talking computers, and that really opened up a whole new world of opportunities. I joined Microsoft 10 years ago as a software engineer. I love making things which improve people's lives, and one of the things I've always dreamt of since I was at university was this idea of something that could tell you at any moment what's going on around you.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
I teamed up with like-minded engineers to make an app which lets you know who and what is around you. It's based on top of the Microsoft Intelligence APIs, which makes it so much easier to make this kind of thing. The app runs on smartphones, but also on the Pivot Head smart glasses. When you're talking to a bigger group, sometimes you can talk and there's no response and you think, is everyone listening really well? Or are they half asleep? And you never know.
I see two faces, 40-year-old man with a beard looking surprised, 20-year-old woman looking happy.
The app can describe the general age and gender of the people around me and what their emotions are, which is incredible. One of the things that's most useful about the app is the ability to read out text.
Hello, good afternoon. Here's your menu.
Great, thank you. I can use the app on my phone to take a picture of the menu, and it's going to guide me on how to take that correct photo.
Move camera to the bottom right and away from the document.
And then it'll recognize the text. Read me the headings.
I see appetizers, salads, paninis, pizzas, pastas.
Years ago, this was science fiction. I never thought it would be something that you could actually do. But artificial intelligence is improving at an ever faster rate, and I'm really excited to see where we can take this. As engineers, we're always standing on the shoulders of giants, building on top of what went before. And in this case, we've taken years of research from Microsoft Research to pull this off.
I think it's a young girl throwing an orange frisbee in the park.
For me, it's about taking that far-off dream and building it one step at a time. I think this is just the beginning.